The most well-known aspect of Taoism is the principle of Wu Wei. It can be highlighted by the parable of the pine and the willow in heavy snow. The pine branch being rigid cracks under the weight, but the willow branch yields to the weight and the snow drops off. We must note, however, that the willow is not limp but springy. It's flexible. Lao Tzu states in the Tao Te Ching that the Tao does nothing and yet nothing is undone. This doesn't mean nothing in the literal sense, for the principle of non-action, or Wu Wei, is not to be considered inertia, laziness, or mere passivity. Among the several meanings of Wei are to be, to do, to make, to practice, to act out. But in the context of Taoist writings, it quite clearly means forcing, meddling, and artifice. In other words, trying to act against the grain of nature. Thus, Wu Wei, as not forcing, is what we mean by going with the grain, rolling with the punches, swimming with the current, trimming your sails to the wind, taking the tide at flood, and stooping to conquer. Wu Wei is the lifestyle of one who follows the Tao and must be understood primarily as a form of intelligence. That is, of knowing the principles, structures, and trends of human and natural affairs so well that one uses the least amount of energy in dealing with them. The principle of Wu Wei lines up perfectly with one of the most famous lines in Stoicism, written by Marcus Aurelius. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Our actions can be impeded, but there can be no impeding our intentions or dispositions. We as humans can always adapt and accommodate. The mind can adapt the very things that are blocking our path to its own purposes. Hence, both Stoicism and Taoism focus on moving towards an aim, but in achieving that aim, flowing with whatever may come. By reimagining these impediments as opportunities to further those aims and surrendering not in the sense of being helpless, but of being flexible, we continue making progress. Like a stream that continues flowing with the grooves in the rocks, never being upset that it's not a straight shot down into the ocean.